What's going on, guys? Lotus Woodis here, back with another video and a new series. Yay! Actually, I've been wanting to do this series for a while. This one's gonna have a special ship, a very unique ship. We're going to be doing all my ex deku. Psych, I lied. I'm joking. That's one ship I would never do, even if I made all my a female. All right then. So, all right, about the real ship. The real ship is Miss Joke. All right. Yeah, so it's Miss Joke. Alright, so this is what Deku's gonna be looking like. Like I said, this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I'm not giving Deku a power that, I created myself. Well, actually, all the powers were created by other people, but I just used them in different ways. Well, more scientifically. The power I'm talking about for this one is Nen. So Deku's gonna have Nen. This is gonna be what if Deku had Nen. This is going to be based on betrayal. Why? Because I wanted to. We're not starting off in any of the arcs for the betrayal. Why? Because I don't feel like it. Honestly, it's not really a part of what I want to do. So, yeah. So, we start off on a class trip to a bridge, basically. It's a very famous bridge, basically. Let's just say it's the bridge that All Might and All For One first fought when All Might had his first battle with All For One. It's basically there. As All Might's been talking to Bakugo and not Deku, and Deku's seen that lately and he's confused. What he's been talking to Bakugo about is, well, we need to find a way to get the quirk from Deku so I can give it to you because you are a stronger candidate. Bakugo was chuckling while on the bus, but Deku, he didn't really care, as he told Uraraka this, who was thinking that Izuku wasn't a good friend anymore and that she doesn't really care about him anymore. So they plan to betray him. Now, while on the bridge, they're basically looking at it while Izuku's on the other side. Class 1A's on one side, Izuku's on the other side. To which Uraraka and Bakugo step out of the line of people just looking while nobody notices this. To which they go as Bakugo pulls out some tape and tapes it over Deku's mouth as Uraraka floats him as Bakugo throws him in the air and tries to, get him. As all of a sudden the class hears Deku as they just see Deku, falling. As Bakugo pretends that he's going to save Deku, but when he got close to Deku, he just grabbed Deku's hair, a piece of his hair. Yes, I downloaded this yesterday. That's because I wanted to do the series yesterday, but sadly, I didn't like how it was going. So yeah, as Deku falls, he thinks to himself and says, so that's how it is, huh? Fine then. To which, in this one, Aizawa's gonna be a terrible person. Well, not that terrible, but a bad person. He's gonna have a terrible attitude towards people, and mostly Miss Joke. Like, I like the ship of Miss Joke and Aizawa x Hisashi, but like, this one I'm gonna have to mess up those ships. Why? Because I feel like it. So yeah. So yeah. So Aizawa, he was paying attention. He tried to swim and get Deku, but Deku was pulled in by a tide, to which he was being pulled down rapidly down. And let's just say it's 100 meters down. 100 meters, so... No, not 100, 1,000, sorry. As Aizawa got to the 100 meters mark and said, I can't reach him anymore. If I go any deeper, I'll lose consciousness. As Deku gets to the 750 meter, as he says, damn it, I can't hold on. As he passes out and he groans and says, ah. As once he reaches the 1000th meter, coincidentally he falls on an orb. Just a rainbow glowing orb. To which he falls on the orb as Like in this one, All Might is Deku's stepfather, and he's been convincing Inko that Deku's been doing drugs and stuff like that, and he's been telling Deku to stop, but Deku doesn't listen. So Inko doesn't really like Deku now, but he'll come to regret it soon. So, like I said, Deku sees Orb as he's in and out of consciousness, as he just sees the orb and unconsciously he grabs it, to which he's brought to this mindscape to where he hears a voice, and the voice says, "Hello there, Zuko Midoriya." As Zuko, he's in his mindscape saying, "What? Who are you? What do you want?" As the person says, "Whoa there, calm down. I only want to give you power. It's not power that I can take away, but power you can achieve. It's called Nen." As Deku sees these two things on a board. As Deku says, "What's Nen?" He says, "Nen is basically aura or life energy. You can use your life energy however you like. There's also forbidden Nen, which is, well, used due to, well, contacting the forbidden Nen and making a pact with it. The more extreme the consequences, the more power you get." As he says, "Okay," as he sees this pop up and it says, "First, I'll be teaching you of the 4 layers of Nen: Ren, Ten, Zetsu, and Hatsu. So these make up, well, Nen. I don't think I really saw anyone use Hatsu that much, so yeah. No, I think I know what Hatsu is. See, I haven't watched Hunter x Hunter in a while, so I'm having a hard time remembering. Alright, so he says, Ren is basically your aura, as, well, you surround yourself in your aura to, well, protect yourself from other auras like Zetsu. Ten is, well, the aura, but you use it as a defense against physical attacks or other physical nens. Zetsu helps with your presence. And Hatsu is, well, bloodlust." As he says, "Oh, interesting." As the voice says, "I'll be teaching you about bloodlust. I'll be teaching you how to use them." To which, all of a sudden, a spiritual hand pops out of nowhere and touches him in the back as he charges Nen through Midoriya's body, opening up his meridians. Yes, the pressure points are called meridians. If you haven't known, the meridians are actually the things that Wing opened up in Gon and Killua's body. They can also be used for cultivation. So when you saw Gon meditating, he wasn't just meditating but actually cultivating. So yeah. As he says, first you need to do Ren. To do that, you must focus on holding back your energy or putting it to making it surround yourself. As he says, "Okay." As Zuko, he focuses and focuses. It takes him 3 days to achieve. Why? Because in this one, Deku is not going to be that fast of a learner for Nen until he gets, like, full control. Until he, like, contacts the Forbidden Nen. It won't be that easy for him to understand Nen. So, yeah. So, he said, "Alright, since you did Ren, time to do 10. For 10, you'll be doing shadow boxing against the shadow that can use, well, Nen. You have to use 10 to protect yourself." As it takes Deku a month in his mindscape to get 10 to a strong enough point, to which he says, "Now is Zetsu. For Zetsu, you need to completely erase your presence. And you will be using that against Zetsu against me. First, I'm going to open up the area, which Izuku's mindscape gets wider and lighter, to which he sees a lot of things around him as he says, wow, what's this? As the person says, these are the places you can hide. You have to erase your presence completely and make sure I don't sense you whatsoever. Even if I sense a little bit of you, it will be problematic. Because in any situation, if you get sensed easily, it's a fatal move to which you can die in seconds. As Izuku says, yeah, alright. To which he spends another 5 months in his mindscape to understand it. And take in mind, these are all happening in the span of a week. So yeah. So yeah. So he does that as he says, congratulations. You've mastered Zetsu. Now into Hatsu. As he says, you must release your bloodlust. As he thinks, alright. To which Izuku thinks about what happened and the two faces he saw right after he fell. Uraraka and Bakugo. As he says that, a huge wave of bloodlust appeared. To which the person teaching him, or the light, says, okay, calm down. I understand your tribe, what you went through before you encountered me, but still, you can't just release that much amount of bloodlust. It's scaring away the animals around you. Sure, you may be doing it in your mindscape, but still, to make it reach the outside world is incredible. As Deku says, oh, alright, as he stops it. As he says, congrats, you mastered Hatsu, but you must learn to control your bloodlust. As he says, alright, as he spends another 5 months. As he says, good, now we will learn about your Nen abilities. To which he does the test. I don't care about the test, as he gets specialist. As Izuku says, what's specialist? He says specialist is actually a unique ability. It's an ability that allows you to use every other ability. As he says, oh, alright. As he says, it's not that high to get specialist. There's barely any specialist back in, well, my universe, or my time to be exact. As he says, first, we will learn about enhancement. Enhancement can be used to strengthen yourself or an object. Emission, it detaches your aura from your body and you can use it in any way. Sorry if you heard that loud noise, that was my grandfather asking me something. Alright, back to it. Why did I close this again? Oh wait, yeah, it was gonna go quick, but okay. So he says, then manipulation. You can control any object that is surrounded by your aura. As he says, transmutation. Changing the quality of your aura to match someone else's, basically. So yeah. She says, conjunction, you can create any object with your aura. As he says, specialists have their own special ability. Now it is time to find yours. As he searches over Midoriya's body and says, oh, your specialist abilities are around your eyes. As he says, what do you mean? As Midoriya looks him straight in the eyes, to which Midoriya's eyes turn to a silverish gray, and he says, what happened to my eyes? As he says, oh, your Nen ability has woken up in your eyes now. Let me explain your specialist ability. Your specialist ability allows you to cancel out any ability depending on the person you're watching. Depending on the radius that you can look at, the better it is. He also said, the light also says, you can also see the true personality of the person behind, well, their mask if they are wearing one. As he says, okay. As he says, if you want greater power, I suggest you contact the greater Nen. As I'm about to go beyond plus ultra head ass. All Might's gonna be looking like a pussy after this, bro. All Might's gonna be Deku's bitch. I'm joking. No, hell no. There will never be a day I make Deku All Might Deku's bitch. Even though Deku's stronger than him in my what is, he will never be Deku's bitch. Cause it's not that I find it disrespectful. It's just that I don't like the image that pops up in my head. Like that shit looks nasty as fuck. Not like sexually wise, but like servant-wise. I don't like that. Like, imagine All Might serving you food and all of a sudden he just poofs down and blood goes all over your food. Like, what? Like, you're gonna expect it to be, like, his fault? No, it was your fault for choosing him. So, watch your choices. Like, choose your people wisely. So, yeah. He says, alright. As he contacts the Forbidden End, as he says, the Forbidden End does not respond back, like, at all. Like, let's just say, like, the Forbidden End has like a personality of its own. Well, I mean, like, it has a personality of its own, but like differently. Think about it differently. To which Izuku says, if you give me unlimited Nen energy and unlimited Nen usage, and the ability to multiply my progress rate with anything that involves Nen to make and give me infinite life with the Nen. Oof, my bad. With the Nen. Not only will, if I ask for a limited amount of Nen usage and Nen capability, or to be brought back to a mortal, or to multiply down my progress rate, if I ask you to do any one of these, it doesn't matter whether it's with immortality, infinite Nen usage, infinite Nen storage, it doesn't matter. Even if I ask for you to put one of them down, not only will I die immediately, he says, every alternate universe version of me, whether he be evil, good, a god, a demon, a devil, he will also die immediately. And not only that, but we will become a servant of the Forbidden Nen after we die. As the Forbidden Nen, he smiles. He smiles. He has the greatest smile of his life. To which, all of a sudden, the Forbidden Nen just lets out an immense amount of energy. As the light sees this, he's like, what the hell? It's never acted like this. What did he wish for? And all of a sudden, Izuku, he's having a great amount of Nen capability. He has infinite Nen usage. He has a capability of infinity. As he has immortal life, he's immortal and stuff like that. To which the light says, boy, what did you wish for? As Izuku looks up and says, that's for me to know and you to find out. As he says, very well. Since my time is up, it's up to you to train. I expect great things from you. I shall be leaving now. So, be careful what you do with your Nen and how you use it. As he says, alright. To which, oh well. To which Izuku wakes up in a bubble. As he says, I guess it's time I use my abilities, huh? To which he uses conjuration. I think it was? Conjuration. Like, why am I doubting myself? I'm sorry. As he forms a mask. You know the swimming mask thing? The thing you blow into so you can breathe underwater? Yeah. He creates one artificially made for him. As he is swimming under the water. He swims under the water and he uses his Nen to help him walk under the water. Even though he's immortal, he feels like, I don't want to drown again. So, yeah. To which he's basically swimming around as he uses enhancement to enhance his stamina. And he says, I'll start off light. I want 100% progress rate. As he surrounds himself, he detaches his aura around him. Like, literally. And he spreads the aura around in the water. as he's swimming for hours on end. And the animals are seeing this and they're like if animals had thought, they're like, how long has he been swimming? When is his end? How strong is he? Who is this human? As Midoriya, he swims and swims and swims. As he says, I think that's a little light. Let's do 100 times. As it gets boosted up to 100 times, to which he's swimming really fast. As he sees an old shipwreck as he goes to it and he lands on it and says, I wonder what's in here. As he sees the clothes you see, as he picks it up and says, this is fine. As he picks it up and, oh wow, another friend is calling. Ah, what a wonderful friend calling. Okay, never mind that. Damn it! Why are they so loud? Damn it, my ears. Doesn't matter. To which, yeah, he picks up the clothes and stuff like that. Now, we cut back to land, where Aizawa gets home as he says, bitch, come out. To which, out of the corner comes Miss Joke. To which Aizawa says, come here. To which he starts choking her, throws her on the floor, and starts hitting her. As Miss Joke is just smiling through the whole thing because she is using her quirk on herself. Now let's talk about her backstory. To which she was forced to date Aizawa, or, well, forced to soon to be married to him. To which Aizawa abuses her, not on her arms and legs. Why? Because of, well, her hero costume, and obviously people would see it. To which Miss Joe gets abused by Aizawa all the time because Aizawa doesn't like her, and because of her quirk, he finds it as weird and a disgrace. Same for her family, since, well, nobody had anything to do with laughing quirks in their family. So Miss Joke uses her quirk on herself to keep herself happy and puts on a front to the other heroes as well. But in reality, she's depressed and crying on the inside. So, yeah. As Bakugo has one for all. Like, yeah. As we cut back to the water after Izuku got his clothes, and he continues to swim around. As he swims for a whole week. To which he decides, alright, I think I'm good enough to swim around this whole world. To which he says, I want to multiply my speed by I want to multiply my progress rate by 1,000. To which the Forbidden End allows it. As he starts swimming around the world, he does it approximately 500,000 times. Because every time he does it, he gets faster. So he says, alright, as he decides, alright, I guess it's time to, well, get stronger in my jumps as well. To which he goes on land and he starts jumping to the point where he can jump from planet to planet. He uses his aura to create, well, a helmet. He doesn't really care about his body because he has aura around him just warming up his body. As he stays on Pluto to meditate. He meditates on Pluto to get the cold air, to get a feel of it. As since it's really cold, it's hurting his internal organs, but he's withstanding it with, well, enhancement. He enhances his organs to make them stronger. Yeah. Smart people days. Let's go. Damn, it feels good to be smart. But it's not good being a smartass. So don't be like me. it can get you killed. I'm dead ass. Alright, so yeah. So Deku, he's swimming around and chill. Fucking god. Perfect. As oh shit. As he's done with that, as he goes to a lake on Pluto, he breaks the surface of Pluto and sees a lake. He swims inside of that lake. As he's like, damn. Oh, damn. As he goes near the sun. Since his body can't withstand the psychic lightning, he has infinite capabilities. So he surrounds himself with aura as he uses conjuration and conjures armor around him. It's kind of like a skin tight armor, but it's like a suit basically. Let me show you. It's kind of like a common armor basically. The arm pieces second, and he's just wearing a regular shirt. As he was just wearing these clothes and some black pants. As he goes on the sun, as he walks on the sun, as he's walking, he's getting accumulated to heat and stuff like that. To which he sees another star, as that star is actually hotter than the sun, to which he jumps on that one and gets better understanding of fire, and he's getting stronger and stronger. To which he jumps all the way on a yellow giant. And she says, alright, that's hot enough. To which he wants to go to a black hole, but he's afraid. Why? Because if you go to a black hole, you don't just get sucked in. If you go in legs first, your legs will just be sucked in, so you'll kind of be like atoms, cells, and just a little like spaghetti just swirling around, basically. But he says, you know what? Fine. He emits aura. He uses emission and emits aura inside his aura, inside of the black hole, as he creates a clone of himself, to which he lets that clone just stay inside, to which he makes a clone on the yellow dwarf star. He basically does it to, well, a big ass star, basically a really big star, as a matter of fact. As he's connected to, well, these spots. He's connected to basically these clones, so any knowledge that they have, he gets it, and any upgrades they have on their body, he gets it. As he puts one on a neutron star, as he does that, as he makes sure that not only he didn't put the aura on top of it, but in the core. As he did the same thing for that star as well, he put him in the core, to which they're just meditating in the core and boiling hot. They're really hot. So yeah. So Izuku says, I'll put one in space so he can swim around. So you're wondering, how can he do that? Easy, a mission. Aura around space, and well, uses the aura around him like waves, so he can, well, move around. So he does that, as he says, alright, I guess I'll go and try to live a normal life. To which he goes back and he's just walking around. Just walking around in regular clothes. To which he sees Aizawa and Midnight outside, and he says, oh, Sensei Aizawa, I wonder. Like, in this time, he's been training his powers when it comes to radius. He enhances his eyes to make the radius of his eyes strong and stuff like that. To which he looks at, oh wow, hold up. If you saw that, that was not my husband. Calm down, I'm a dude. That was my mom's husband, or my dad. Like I said, I'm using a different phone, so I'm not using my phone, I'm using my mom's phone, so yeah. So, like I said, he was looking at Aizawa. As he looks at Aizawa and Miss Joke and sees Miss Joke has a sad personality and she's depressed. To which he looks at Aizawa and sees hatred, as He also sees Aizawa's memories of him beating Miss Joke and Miss Joke's memories of him beating her, but not on the arm, so he says, "Oh, so that's how he does it, huh? Interesting. Guess it's time I save her now." As that night, while Aizawa is beating Miss Joke, after he's done Izuku, he claps his hand and says, very good, Eraserhead. Well then, let me give you a proposal. One that you can't refuse, because if you do, your career as a hero is over. The proposal is, if you decide to relinquish your marriage with Miss Joker right here, right now, your career won't end, but if you do decide to not, I apologize, but you will have to go to court. So, what'll it be? As he says, fine. I'll relinquish the marriage and the relationship, as he says. Good. As Aizawa yells, "Get out, bitch," as she walks out, as Izuku, he sees her outside. She's on the porch. She doesn't have anywhere to go, to which Izuku, he picks her up bridal style and says, well then, I guess it's time we go home. To which he picks her up and says, I think it's time for you to go to sleep. To which he proceeds to tap her head and she falls asleep. As she wakes up, as she says, where am I? As he says, good, you're awake. As she starts laughing and says, oh wow, this is a funny joke. As Izuku, he looks at her and says, you can stop it now. As he says, what do you mean? As she's laughing and stuff like that. As Izuku says, the act is over. I suggest you stop it at me. The whole laughing gas on your whole body and harming yourself with it is not a good thing. So I suggest you stop it. To which Aizawa says, to which she stops and says, how did you know? Izuku, he points at his eyes and says, or eye, and says, I can see. If you're Haitian or not, my mom told me to open the door. Never mind. Alright, so, yeah. So, he says, well, my eye allows me to, see through any disguise a person is using, their true personality, and I can, quite interestingly, can cancel quirks. Sure, I could do it off my own will, but I want you to do it. As he goes over to her and hugs her and says, it's okay now, you can let it out. As she starts crying, she bawls her eyes out. As we cut to Aizawa's end, where Aizawa says to the other heroes that Miss Joke was kidnapped while he was, trying to protect her. He made a false lie, to which all the heroes believe, as he says, we have a tracker on her, as they track her to Izuku's house, to which they just hear a whole bang on the door, to which Miss Joke is scared. As all the heroes, including All Might, walk in and says, stop right there, villain. You kidnap a hero. As Midoriya says, if any of you take a step forward, not only will you die, but you'll die in an instant. Whether it be hypothermia, burned to death, or just sliced into pieces. As he says this, he releases a high amount of bloodlust. As they all feel the bloodlust and they're scared. As they try to move forward, but they can't. The bloodlust just keeps pushing them back. As he looks at Aizawa and says, oh, so this is your doing, huh, Aizawa? Well then, care to explain what you have been doing to Miss Joke behind every hero's back, supposedly being a nice and romantic couple? As he says, what are you talking about? As Izuku says, the bruises, the scars, the abuse, the assaults, quite honestly, sexual harassment. As he says, "What are you talking about? Stop lying." To which Izuku, he undresses Miss Joke, protecting the Vijay and the Tetetes like the melons, as all the heroes just see bruises all over her as they look back at Aizawa and says, "Is this true?" And he says, "No, it's not. It must be him who's putting an illusion, or he has been beating her." As Izuku says, "Although I'm able to create illusions, illusions of bruises are something that I don't find rather interesting. I inflict the bruises myself. And secondly, I couldn't abuse a person in the time that it took for her to stop crying. As a matter of fact, I only took her tonight, so I didn't really have time to abuse her to this point." To which he puts her clothes back on as he pulls her off and says, "This is between you. This is, well, your choice. Whether you go to him or you stay with me." As the heroes are waiting for the response, to which she runs to Izuku and hugs him and says, "I want to stay with you." As Izuku, he smirks and says, "You heard her answer. So, I suggest you leave." To which they said, "Alright, fair point." As Aizawa says, "Tch," as he leaves. As Miss Joke says, "Who are you?" As Izuku says, "I'm a former student of Aizawa's. Not a graduate, but the first year that died on that bridge, or supposedly died." As he says, "Yeah." As she says, "Izuku Midoriya?" As he says, "Ding, ding, ding." As a matter of fact, I was pushed off by someone. But that's for another time. As we cut back to UA, they saw what happened to Midoriya and they're thinking, "We need to save him, we need to save them." But they can't really do that. To which Izuku, he's been with Miss Joke for a while now, and he's been giving her the time of her life. Basically, he's been protecting her and buying her stuff. Izuku, he works a basic job as a waiter at a famous restaurant where heroes come. So he gets a daily salary, a monthly salary of a mil. No, 2 mil. Yeah, hold on. So he gets a monthly wage of 2,000, and he buys Miss Joke a lot of things. But Miss Joke tells him not to because, well, these are expensive. If Mizuku says it's fine. Anyways, I plan to become a future hero anyway, so might as well get started with treating you right? As she blushes and says, "Oh, okay." As one day, while Izuku's working, Aizawa and friends come in, which are the UA teachers. To which Aizawa sees him and gets an evil grin. She tells All Might and stuff like that, "Oh, he should bully him." To which they ask for the waiter to keep coming, as when they get their wine, they spill it on Izuku's head. As the UA teachers are laughing and stuff like that, thinking it's funny. To which after work, when everybody's leaving, which are the UA teachers, right when they're about to go to, well, while they're walking, they just see a figure right in front of them. And that's Izuku, and says, as Izuku, he steps out of the shadows and he says, "You must really think that just because you come to my workplace gives you the entitlement to disrespect me, don't you?" To which All Might says, "And what are you gonna do about it?" To which, before they can even move, Midoriya's hand is right in front of All Might and Aizawa, grabbing them as he lifts them up in the air, slams them on the floor. As he walks over to Nezu and picks him up by the by the collar and says, "You were really interested in what was happening. Not interested, but mesmerized. Let's find out what's mesmerizing, that or what you're about to see." To which he surrounds his aura in Nezu's mind and gives him something petrifying of his race getting killed, his family, everything getting killed, as just them getting tortured. I don't know if Nezu has a wife, but we're gonna make sure he has a wife as his wife gets raped in front of him, as he can't do anything, as he's wondering, why can't I move? To which a mirror appears in front of him, to which he sees he has no limbs, as he's yelling, as Nezu's yelling outside, yelling, "Ah!" Just scratching his head and says, "Let me out, let me out, let me out!" To which Hazashi and Midnight are scared and said, "We need to run," as they're trying to running, as Izuku grabs both of them by their neck and says, "Running isn't really an option," as he throws them on the ground and says, "See, you didn't do anything since you were drunk," to which he flicks Midnight in the head, to which he sends her flying and he knocks her out, as he looks at Hazashi and says, "Same to you," and does the same thing. So he hits Aizawa a lot, giving him a lot of bruises, and says, "I see that as fair compensation for what happened to Emmy," as he just jumps off. As he snaps his finger and everything goes back to normal, or to be exact, Nezu goes back to normal. To which he gets up and sees he's petrified, to which he sees Aizawa beat up, All Might beat up, and Midnight and Hazashi knocked out. To which he helps those two up as they pick up Hazashi and Midnight and they go off on their way. And I think that's where I'm going to be leaving it off, to where he beats the living shit out of... Nah. You know what? Yeah, let's keep going forward. To which, it's time for the second year UA entrance exam. You have to be like age 17 or 18. To which, like I said, Izuku was 16. He's 18. He was 17, but he's 18 now. So yeah. So he can officially start dating Emmy or Miss Joke, as he asked Miss Joke out and she said yes. And she's been having much of a better time as a hero. As he goes to the UA entrance exam and he sees Bakugo and Uraraka and says, "This'll be fun." To which he sees everybody in class 1A and says, "Ill," as he just walks off. As everybody sees them, they're like, "Who's he? Is he a new student? Is he transferring?" As Ida tries to walk up to him, right when Ida touches him, Izuku grabs her and throws him at a wall. As he says, "Ow, damn it." As he does that, and Ida, he's groaning at the wall, like, "Oh, God, ow, what happened?" As everybody sees this, they're like, "What the hell?" As Todoroki goes up to him and says, "Hey, that was not very cool. Stop it." As Izuku, he turns around, picks up Todoroki's hand and says, "I'm sorry, but I think you dropped this on the wrong person. And if it happens again," as he goes close to Todoroki's ear and says, "I'm afraid it won't have to slide. I'll have to cut it off so it permanently won't fall on the wrong thing." As he lets off a lot of bloodlust that only Todoroki can feel, as he just backs off. Now, inside the exam, he passes the written exam. Now it's time for the robot one, to which he destroys every robot that Uraraka and Bakugo try to get, like, completely destroys them. As they keep yelling out, "Hey, stop it!" As Bakugo says, "What the hell?" As then comes the 0 pointer, to which Uraraka gets trapped under rubble again, as she says, "Help me." As Izuku, he walks up to her, bends down. He looks at her as he says, "Absolutely." As she hears that, she smiles and says, as Izuku, he gets an evil grin on his face and says, "Not." As he gets up and walks away. As everybody sees this and says, "What the hell is he doing?" The teachers are like, "What the hell? Isn't he?" As Nezu sees that, the hair and the face, as Nezu's petrified, he's like, "No, no, 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 no. Why is he here?" As he's scared, like Nezu's scared. As he looks straight at a camera that was supposed to be hidden, as he says, "Interesting." As he just walks away. To which the teachers are like, "Where is he?" To which he appears right next to the camera, touches it, as he says, "Oh, so that's where you are." To which, all of a sudden, the teachers, they just feel an ominous presence and sees a figure walking out from the shadows and says, "So that's where you are. Interesting. That's nice." To which Cementos tries to make a wall, to which Izuku, he touches it, as he pushes it. All you hear is that, and it breaks. Like, you hear a sound as it breaks, as he's like, "What the hell?" As he says, "Little rat man. Interesting device you've played with. I want to play with it." As Izuku, he grabs him, as he says, "Move." To which he sits in Nezu's chair, as he puts his hand out, as he says, "Ho ho ho. Katsuki Bakugo wants to be a big shot, huh?" This is gonna be fun. To which he slaps Bakugo out the way, to which Bakugo, he's in pain, groaning. Because he just got hit by a chunk of metal and then hit a wall. Like, are you really gonna be like, "Oh, I'm big shot, I'm a big boy, I can handle this"? Like, no, you probably have like a broken wrist, a broken rib, or some shit like that. Then Ida tries to reciprocal burst, to which he gets grabbed as he gets thrown out of the arena. Todoroki tries to freeze him, as he just breaks the ice before it could even reach him. As they're like, "What the hell? Is the 0 pointer stronger this time?" As all of a sudden they hear a voice that says, "It's not stronger. Because if it was, you'd be dead without a doubt." As they feel an ominous pressure from the robot, as they're scared. As they try to run away, Uraraka tries to crawl away, but she can't due to the rubble. As the 0 pointer goes and picks her up and slams her on the ground, to which she bounces and says, "Ah," as she passes out. To which the 0 pointer flicks her away at the wall. As Izuku, he jumps out of the chair and says, "Okie dokie, that was fun. Well, I'll be looking for that letter." As he looks at Alma and says, "And you, I need to have a little chat with you." To which he appears right in front of All Might, grabs his face, and jumps away with him. As he throws him into the ground and says, "So, framing my death, or to be exact, framing me, lying about my death is amusing to you, isn't it? Toshinori Yagi." Or should I say Toshinori Midoriya? As he says, "How do you know that name?" As he says, "Why wouldn't I? After all, I'm your supposed stepson." As he says, "You're not Izuku. Izuku's dead, and he wouldn't act like this." As he says, "You're right. I wouldn't act like this. At least, not until I got betrayed by my supposed best friend and teacher and idol. Isn't that right? All Might?" As All Might feels the pressure, as he says, "What do you want?" as he says, "Oh, nothing. I just wanted to clarify something. Your little successor Katsuki Bakugo, let's just say the sports festival won't end well for him." As he just flies off away with All Might and brings him back. As All Might's on the floor and the teachers are like, "What happened?" As he says, "That's Midoriya." As they said, "Midoriya." As Midoriya, he turns around and says, "Oh no, I've been found out. It doesn't matter. Not like you can kill me or anything, nor can you capture me. You're physically incapable of doing that." As he says, "As a matter of fact, I haven't talked to the Forbidden Nen in a while, because he has a relationship with the Forbidden Nen now, since, well, he's always in contact with the Forbidden Nen. So yeah, as he says, how about we put the multiplier up to, thousand's a little too little. Perfect. 100 million. As they're like, "What? 100? As all of a sudden, Midoriya feels a jolt of power as he says, "Wow, the multiplier is faster. Much faster. But we can go higher. 100 billion. No, 100 trillion." As they just feel, as he just feels a lot of power, and he's like, "Wonderful. Well, I guess I'll be going now." To which he just takes a step as he disappears. And he's right behind Emmy, who is looking at the Shiketsu High second year entrance exam, which is kind of like UA's, but no big robot, basically no 0 pointer. As he appears right next to Emmy and says, "They seem to be really weak." As she looks at her and says, "Ah, you scared me." As he says, "Sorry about that, dear." As he says, "They could use some training. But that's not for me to decide, after all. You're a teacher. I'll see you later." As he pats her on the head and leaves. As a week later, he gets a letter in the mail that says UA, as it says, don't need to read it. To which All Might broadcasts the thing and says, "Young Midoriya," and immediately it gets broken, as All Might says, "I guess he knows, huh?" As a week later, Midoriya pull up in a Lambo. Like, I'm about to show you the Lambo. Hold up. Oh wow, it's still going. So yeah, he pulls up to UA in this Lambo. He also has these other ones, but he doesn't use them that often. They're for special occasions. This one is for when he goes riding at night. This one is for like fun outings and stuff like that. So yeah, this one he uses to go anywhere, like anywhere. As everybody sees him pull up with that, and they're like, "Who's that? Is he like some model or something?" As he steps out of the car, as all of Class 1A is like, "Who is this dude?" And like as they see him as Class 1A, they're actually pissed. Like they see this person step out, they're pissed. They're like, "It's that guy that nearly let Uraraka die." To which they all go to their classes, and Class 1A sees Izuku walk in, as Bakugo, thinking he a big shot, goes to him and says, "Extra, who are you?" To which Midoriya grabs his face and slams him to the floor and says, "I wouldn't be calling your superior an extra, Katsuki Bakugo. As a matter of fact, that quirk of yours, not explosion, but the other one. I'm your superior and the wielder of that one as well. So you should respect me while you have the chance. I don't want any relations with you whatsoever. But test me and it won't end well for you." As Aizawa walks in and says, Good morning, class. As he says, Midoriya, thank you for being back. As they said Midoriya is dead. As they point to this person, as Aizawa says, no, that's Midoriya. As they said, what happened to you? As Midoriya says, how about you ask Ochako Uraka, or should I say Ho-Chako? And Katsuki Bakuho, as they said, what did you call us? To which Midoriya grabs both heads and says, maybe I stuttered. As he leaks bloodlust and says, maybe I stuttered, but I said Ho-Chako Uraka. And Katsuki Bakugo, as a mass amount of bloodlust is being leaked, as Class 1B can feel it, the other teachers can feel it. And they're like, whose bloodlust is that? As the teachers come running in to see Midoriya holding Uraraka and Bakugo by their heads and squeezing, as they said, hey you, stop. To which Midoriya looks back at Vlad King and says, if I want my hero career to continue, I would shut up if I were you, Vlad King. As he says, like you can do anything. As All Might steps in and says, ha ha ha, I am here. To which All Might looks and sees what's happening. He says, young Midoriya, stop. As the other teachers are like, Midoriya? I thought he was dead. As Midoriya says, yes, supposedly I was dead. But in reality, I was betrayed by not one but two people, my mentor and my supposed best friend, Ho-Chako Uraraka and All Might. As All Might says, I don't know what you're talking about. As Midoriya says, so you mean drowning was not your plan? Doesn't matter. To which he throws the two of them at the wall and says, I don't have time for you. As he says, we're going to be doing the quirk assessment to see, as Aizawa says, we'll be doing the quirk assessment to see if you have grown any stronger with your quirks. As Midoriya, he leaves the class and goes outside to ground beta. He does not use no hero costume. They're like, where's your hero costume? Midoriya says, don't need it. As they're like, jackass. As all of a sudden, armor appears on Midoriya. They're like, where did that armor come from? Midoriya says, that's for me to know and you to never find out. As first is the ball throwing test, to which they said, throw it. To which Midoriya says, how much should I use? As he says, no, 1% should be fine. As they said, 1%? Cocky bastard. To which he cocks his hand back. Not serious, but he cocks it back and throws it, and it's just breaking the sound barrier as they hear sonic booms, and they're like, ow! As they're bleeding from the ears, as Aizawa turns and says, infinity. As they're shocked and frightened. As Midoriya, he says, interesting. All the tests go the same, and now it's for the speed test. Either thinking, I'm gonna blitz this man's, as Aizawa says go, and Ida thinks he has a head start, as all of a sudden, he looks, like he turned and saw that Midoriya was still there, but all of a sudden he looks and saw Midoriya in front of him. He said, what? As the robot said, 0.00000000000000000 error. As they said, he broke the machine with his speed. As he says, oh, come on. That wasn't even 50%. Ashamed. As he just walks back into the class after all the exam and says, doesn't matter. To which Midoriya, at the end of the day, he gets in his car and goes home. And that's where I'm going to be leaving it off, to where he gets home. So, yeah. So I'm going to be leaving it off. The timing was great. I'm not going to lie. The time was great. Like 50 minutes, more than 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm using a different phone, so most of my videos will probably be 30 minutes or more. So yeah. Um yeah, so that's where it's gonna be. So there isn't, for the upcoming ships, like the ship I gotta do next is Ragdoll. Ragdoll is probably the only ship I have to do because I have done Midnight multiple times. No, not multiple times, but a rather fair amount of times. I just did Jiro, a ship. Yeah, I'm still doing that one. Um, only got to do Ragdoll, that Mount Lady, and all the other females. If I missed a fine female individual, just tell me in the comments, and that's where I'm gonna be leaving it off, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna be leaving it on this. So bye.